really interesting article on BuzzFeed about these inconveniences from back in the day that millennials and Gen Z, there's no way y'all could handle it. You'd lose your mind. I don't even remember. Vague recollection of some of these things. For instance, I don't remember. I got into school right when we had like Apple IICs and dot matrix printers, the ones that would go when they printed. So I didn't have much use of a typewriter, but I remember my first project, my mom's like, here, I have a typewriter you can use.
What?
And I remember going, this is awful.
Yeah.
And making a mistake. And my mom's like, that's fine. I have whiteout. I'm like, what, Mom?
Oh, man, I used to love to sniff that stuff.
Whiteout was great.
It smells so good.
Why is that not surprising?
I know.
Dallas like that?
I took typing in high school.
I was going to say, I remember in middle school taking typing classes. Is that even a thing anymore?
No.
I doubt it.
No, but our teacher was Carolyn Johnson, and she used to let us play cards.
Can I tell you the
That's
worst?
why I don't know how to type.
But you can gamble. Can I tell you the worst mistake I ever made? That's so funny, Dallas. We were given the option, never let kids choose, especially, kids who are a little bit on the husky side, because we had the choice. You could learn typing that semester. This was in middle school, or home ec, but they made food and you got to eat it when you were done.
Yes.
Oh.
I wanted the food. So I was there like we were cooking. And so that's, and then they broke it up. It was half cooking, half sewing.
See,
I learned how to sew.
They gave us a choice. We could take home ec or ag, and I chose ag because Joe Martin was hot. And that's where we castrated the pig.
And that's a life skill that you need for the rest of your life, obviously. Yeah.
How many times you been married? Anyway,
okay, after you took that home ec class, how many times have you cooked and sewn?
Which is so funny because I love to cook. And like years after I got out of school, I ran into Sharon Whitard. She was our home ec teacher.
When's her birthday?
I think she was in August. And I said, oh my gosh, Miss Whitard, you're not going to believe this, but I love to cook. And she's like, well, that is amazing.
See, look what you did. And I like to sniff whiteout and cook. Inconveniences that you could never handle. There was a thing back in the day. Dallas had this growing up in rural Alabama where no one had cell phones. They didn't exist.
Yeah.
And you had a home phone, but...
Landlines.
But exactly, a landline. But you shared this line.
Party line. Party line.
You shared this line with 4 other homes.
Yeah, I could never do that.
It was only 2 for us.
Okay. Back in the day, my dad would tell me about this when he grew up. He shared it with 4 houses. So the phone would ring and hello.
And everybody had their special ring, right?
You'd know, because it would go like ring, ring, ring for house 3, and you'd know it was yours.
Yeah.
And if you weren't paying attention, and anyway, people used to pick up the phone and listen to other conversations.
Miss Danford used to listen to all of our conversations.
Like
Miss Danford?
Miss Danford.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Her husband, James, he hollered all the time. You could hear him all the way down Tank Road.
Would anybody pick up the phone and be like, hey, get off the phone. I need it.
Yep.
My dad would say that. They had to make a call. Can you please end this conversation? I've got a very important long-distance call to make.
Got an emergency.
Back in the day, there were no apps. The school would not text you when there were inclement weather days.
Yep.
You would have to watch TV and wait for it to scroll across the bottom or...
Listen to the radio!
And by the way, as someone who's been in this business for a bunch of years, I'm so happy I don't have to read those anymore.
Oh, I used to love that. The kids would call and they'd be like, are we out of school? And I'd be like, what county are you in? Yes, you're out of school.
Mother Dallas, are we going to school? Would you ever accidentally read... A lot of counties sound the same. You'd read the wrong one.
I don't
and then
think
you'd
so.
have to go back and correct. And I would get... The kids would call and like scream at me.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But that's how we found out listening to the radio, the first radio station that I ever worked at. That's how we would find out if we were out of school.
See, we would get a phone call and they would leave we still had a landline at the time. And so it would be left on the voicemail message and it would you could hear it throughout the whole house. I remember so many mornings laying in bed and hearing 2-hour delay. Because in New Jersey, you never called off school for snow.
They would just go.
They were prepared.
They would just go.
I got to tell you, this makes me so...
Nostalgic?
Yes, I love all these things.
Tech inconveniences from back in the day. Trying to find a payphone. You're away from home. You're at a concert. You're out at a restaurant. Trying to find a payphone so that you could call somebody. Or back in this is so long ago. We had pagers back in the day.
Yeah.
Never had a pager. Never really used a payphone. I think it's wild that you guys used to go out without a phone. Like, what if somebody needed to get in contact with you? What if you needed to get in contact with someone?
I would be out sometimes, and if I had car trouble or something, I'd just get out of my car and walk down to the nearest house. Go up. Hey.
That is so creepy.
Hey, it's the Turner girl. Hey, can I use your phone? My car's broke down. Sure, come on in.
You could never
No.
do that today.
Nope. But
No.
that was part of growing up in rural Alabama. Everybody knew everybody and everybody trusted everybody. It was a great way to live.
Well, growing up in suburban Columbia, Maryland, my dad knew we had each area had a village center, right? My dad knew at the Owen Brown Village Center.
A village center.
Yep, village center, right near the giant food. My dad knew that there was a payphone there that you put money in and you'd put the coin return down 3 times, and like a slot machine, all the money would come back out. So you could make free phone calls. So my dad would make free phone calls.
Wow.
Back in the day from this phone. So my dad would stand up, hey, talk to your grandma, and people would stare at it. We'd be at this phone for like a half hour.
Oh my
this
God.
payphone.
That's so
When I'm a
funny.
little kid.
Funny. I was in San Antonio about 10 years ago, and I was walking down Riverwalk and turned on one street, and there was a payphone. And I picked it up.
Ew.
Well, I didn't stick it to my face or anything.
Save that, Marcus.
But I picked it up and it had a dial tone. I was like, oh my God, this thing works.
They're still
Payphone.
around. There's still a few of them around.
So crazy.
Gross payphone. Ugh.
This might be the best segment. I love this.
Well, Dallas, I don't know if you knew we do a podcast replay. You can go and hear this segment.
love this.
You can get nostalgic anytime you want. Look for Kincaid
Waiting
and
for
Dallas.
a phone call. I love that one.
Oh, yeah, where you had to sit by your phone and wait for someone to call you. And before caller ID, you did not know who was calling.
See, I remember that. I remember not having caller ID on my parents' landline phone. And the first time we got caller ID, and it was set up with it was like the phone and the TV were bundled together. So the caller ID would come across the top of the TV
Yeah.
whenever you get a call.
Yeah.
I remember that being a huge deal in my house. Like, we'd be watching TV and be like, oh, look, Nana's calling. She just popped up on the TV.
remember that.
The best part was when y'all look at each other going, and you all agree that you're not going to take the call.
The best waiting on a phone call story ever is that one right there, Kincaid. Waiting on a job interview phone call.
At a payphone.
At a payphone because his friend,
Kyle, who recently passed away.
Kyle stole his money and he couldn't pay his
My
cell
phone got shut
bill.
off, and I was waiting. I had applied for a job, so I gave them the number to a payphone at the mobile gas station near me.
And you just sat there all day?
I sat. No, this is so. Would you hire anybody who on his resume put, please call after 6 o'clock between the hours of 6 and 8 at this number?
Yes, because maybe they're busy with other things. I wouldn't think bad about that.
Well, not only that, but it shows me that you wanted the job.
Well,
Yeah.
I had to chase away the drug dealers who also use the payphone too. Because I'm like, hey man, I'm trying to wait for a job, and I would sit there in my car and wait for the phone to ring, and I'd run out, and someone would be approaching the phone and go, no. Almost the same thing. The way you talk to, you yell at a dog when it's about to leave poop marks on the floor and drag its butt. I'm like, no. And
Would that scare them? Would they run away?
they would. And I got the job. I did my interview on the drug payphone, got the job.
Wow.
And was able to it only took me 11 years to turn my credit around. Well, that was nostalgic. That was very good.
I like
somebody
that.
just texted and said, I remember no microwave. Oh, girl, me too. I love no
I don't
microwave.
want to live in a world where that's a thing. No,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
I'd never be Amish.